What's up, Airsofters? Roast My Kit is back, and today we got a good one. We got a lot of RUSFOR kit, we got some old school kit, and also some hyper modern stuff as well, so let's get right into it and start the roasting. I feel like multicam black is one of those camo patterns that you either love it or you hate it, and I don't want to diss it. However, you know, I feel like sometimes it's a little overdone, like it doesn't actually blend in with the environment, but let's take a look at the kit itself. So taking a look at what we have here, you know, we have the giant riser on there for the AR there, and then just, you know, now we have a really good look at the kit. It looks like it's some sort of modern, I think that's a Faro Concepts plate carrier, but I could be wrong. Trying to see if we can get a good picture here. Yeah, so it's pretty much farrowed out, you know, cool guy kit here. You know, it's not that anything on here is bad in any sort of sense. I'm just not a huge multicam black person. But taking a look at the kit, I mean, again, it's all good stuff. It's just not my personal preference. And we see his, you know, little video here of it at the field. The one thing I'll say is that magnifier combo. So we've got a Hydra mount and then we have a magnifier behind it. I find it really funny that like that's a lot of weight on the gun, and is it actually useful? He does have dual tubes, so I guess having it higher up does make sense, but we've got two different guns here. Actually, now that I'm seeing it, we have like a CQBR, and then we have this M-Lock gun, and they seem to be set up pretty similarly, but like, I just think the Hydra mount's a little overdone personally, but not to really hate on this kit. He's got the old school Oakley gloves, which I find hilarious. I haven't seen one of those in a while, but you know, it's not bad. It's just not my thing, admittedly. Next, we have signups with what looks like a Russian-inspired kit. He's got the VSS, which is a cool gun, don't get me wrong. I love the helmet with the protector in front of it, even though they're a pain to wear. And taking a look at it, you know, this is one of those things where it kind of gives off like Gray Shop Special. I don't know if this is actually RUSFOR kit or if this is inspired, but I think for Airsoft, you know, it's totally plenty fine. And then for our next kit here with Pickle, this is RUSFOR kit. And honestly, I think this is sick. And the main reason why is the kit's cool, don't get me wrong. I love the RPK. Like my dream build right now, I just haven't gotten around to it, is an RPK with a Zenit top cover and, you know, using it for the support gunner role. The issue that I run into is for the games that I go to, an RPK really just doesn't make sense. I don't get to play at my own games, Gun Gamers Productions, because I'm too busy running them. And at Milsim West, I feel like I've been doing a lot of NATO. So the idea of building an RPK and making it reliable just hasn't been super top of mind, but there's not a lot of games where like again with Milsim West, if I was going to build an RPK, I would just run a drum in it, and at that point, why not build a PKM, because they're more reliable and they're easier to get the gearbox out if something does break. But getting back to the person's actual kit, I think this is super cool, especially because of the gun, but I'm a big fan of the ATAX and multicam combo. I run that a lot myself, and I think it's really cool. And as we continue, we have yet another Russian kit. I guess this is going to be the episode of RUSFOR, and I usually don't rank kits that are on the ground. However, it looks like he's got a Warrior Assault System DCS, which is my plate carrier, and this is kind of set up like my GHK AK is, so I'm a bit biased towards it. But I think this is a really good FSB style kit. I like the fort pouches on the belt. I think that's a nice little touch to not have everything be multicam, but this is super cool for sure. And then as we keep moving down, we have World War Doofus with kind of like a stalker-inspired kit. And I know that this isn't really for Airsoft because those masks don't have like the eye pro on them isn't actually rated for BBs. But I think this is cool. Funny that he decided to die. But you know, I think that like stuff like this, I wish that there was more games that it made sense to wear to. I know there's some post-apocalyptic games. I know Action Sports Wisconsin out in the Midwest is doing a good job with that sort of thing. I just wish in my neck of the woods, you know, without driving 14 hours to Wisconsin, there'd be some better options. This next kit that we have here comes from Callsign Ghost. And as I'm looking at it, ooh, if I get it wrong, I'm gonna get roasted in the comments. This is, oh, please help me out. This is Finnish camo? If it's CAD Pat, I'm gonna feel really bad. But you know, I think it's kind of a basic kit. He's not wearing iPro, but I think it does everything that you need for most Airsoft games. You know, he's got his blaster with the EOTech and the magnifier on there. He's got A little med kit on there. I don't like that that's right at the 9 o'clock position. It's probably a little uncomfortable. Put it on your back. But you know, this is basic, but it gets the job done, and it's got a cool pattern, so I really can't be mad at it at all. If I get that pattern wrong, I'm going to feel really bad. Next we have Vincent, who has I'm going to say this is old school US Army. I just don't recognize the olive drab uniform, but it is old school kit. And you know, this has kind of been like my love. Like ever since I started playing Arma Reforger about a year ago, I've been working on doing some old school kit. The pieces are finally coming together. My M16A2 is built. So this sort of stuff is just my love right now. And I think this looks super cool. He does acknowledge that the gas mask is not iPro safe, but also wherever this is that he's doing the pictures is also super cool. Next, we have a word in a language that I don't speak, but it is more RUSFOR kit, and I love how a lot of modern-day RUSFOR kit is just like stuff thrown together. There's like a million, you know, different camo patterns. Like we've got ATAC's Cries, we've got the Digiflora top, and then some sort of multicam plate carrier that I can't identify. Is it a TacTac? I'm a little bad at identifying it right now, but you know, I think for your modern RUSFOR kit, this looks pretty good, and I admire somebody who's willing to put a kit together that has a gun with 0 attachments on it. Next we have Signups again, who has a modern German kit, and I'm going to say that this is inspired. And you know, I think again, like the backpack's putting too much weight on you. You can see it here because your plate bag is going down. You should adjust your plates or, you know, cinch the backpack up on your back. But you know, I think for an airsoft kit, this isn't bad. I'm guarantee the quad tubes are not real. But you know, I think you've got a good start here for something that's practical. The uniform looks a little big on you, I'll say, but overall, I mean, this isn't bad. It's just not my personal thing. As we continue to go through, again, I'm going to make an exception. I really should not be making these, but we're going to do another 80s kit that is not actually being worn because it's just so drippy. You know, every time that I see kits like this, I just absolutely love them. With the M16A1 instead of the A2 as well, I think this is pretty cool. And then next we have Gambler Airsoft, who is a channel member with a Winter Warfare kit. And you know, it sucks because there's not a ton of winter games out there. That's why we host one at Gun Gamers Productions every year. But I wish that there was more opportunities to wear stuff like this, because I feel like the last couple of years, whenever I go to a winter airsoft game, it's just cold and there's not actually snow on the ground. But taking a look at the kit, it looks like a JPC 2.0 with you know, a BFG triple on the front, I think you can see. So, you know, solid kit all around. The gun looks cool as well. I think it's a 416. I kind of can't tell because he's got the wrap on there. But this is super cool. I really like this. Next we have Gibby, who has the Prairie bushmonster. And I shouldn't have said that out loud. We're just going to get right into the kit. And the first thing that sticks out to me is he's got 2 pieces of load-bearing equipment on, which you don't see very often. So he's got this webbing gear, but then you also see that he has, I think that's a Mayflower chest rig. Yeah, so taking a look at it all laid out, you know, it's not super often that you see people layer 2 pieces of kit like this. I just want to know how comfortable it is. I feel like, you know, you've got enough mags on the belt. What is that chest rig providing you? I see people do armor and, you know, harness kits all the time, but what does this do for you? And then the one thing I will acknowledge, this is a... When's the last time that you saw a key mod on an airsoft gun? That has been a minute. I do like having the short dot on there, but yeah, I mean, overall it's cool. I'm curious how actually comfortable this is, and I do love the helmet setup as well. I just wonder, like, is that actually practical? Next we have Breadface, who has their Korean War infantry kit. And I gotta say, you know, to me, like, this is old enough that it all just kind of looks the same to me. Like, if you told me this was World War II kit, I would believe you, especially with the M1 carbine that looks like. But unfortunately, this is too old where I know nothing about it. You know, you do you, but I can't quite say that it's my thing. And then we have JT01, and this is a little bit of a leaf suit, Ranger green sort of combo. He's got a URGI there, which is pretty cool. You know, now we get a better picture of the setup. And I gotta say, you know, this just kind of does everything right. Unfortunately, there's not a close-up of the There we go. Now a close-up of the plate carrier. So I think it's a JPC 2.0. I think there's a little bit of Hyphalon there on the shoulder that you can see. But you know, there's nothing wrong with this kit at all. I think that it looks pretty cool. You know, leaf suits are becoming more and more popular. No knee pads in the cries though, despite the fact that this place looks very rocky. But you know, I think that this is super cool no matter what. And I do just want to take a quick moment to thank our channel members who help make videos like these possible. If it wasn't their support, you know, I wouldn't be able to go to airsoft fields and be able to meet people and, you know, learn more about this incredible hobby. So a big thank you to them for making the channel possible. That's going to do it for today's video though. Thank you so much for watching Roast My Kit. My name is Lane and I will see you all next time.